This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com and SWE Fury with the reigning SWE Fury heavyweight champion, former National Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion, Tim Storm, who also wrestled in WWE a couple of times.
Yeah, very quickly. Don't blink or you'd have missed that one. So
you're actually in better shape now than you were in those days.
Yeah, it kind of came to a point where I had to make a decision for myself at 300 and plus pounds, the long hair and the Fu Manchu mustache, that so many back problems and knee problems that I either had to get out or change my build, change my body physique. I guess I made the right decision, because that was, oh man, I'm old. That was 15 years ago, So yeah, a lot of changes.
Now, I saw another interview you did a couple of months ago, and I was actually very surprised at how old you were. Not that you're incredibly old, but you actually look a lot younger than you are.
It's funny. I don't know. It's probably been 10 years now that I cut the long hair and shaved the mustache off, and there was no. It wasn't like I went into it and went, what's going to happen when I do this? I'm going to shave this. But it turns out that without the mustache and the longer hair, apparently it made me look younger. For a long time I protected my age. Where I come from, old school wrestling, you protected, you didn't tell anybody about your family, because you didn't want to bring them in. You didn't tell anybody about a job outside of wrestling, because you wanted everybody to believe that you made $1 million and you showed up everywhere in a limousine. And for me, I didn't want anybody to know my age, because I'm always the old guy in the locker room. But that kind of, I made all that very public 3 or 4 years ago, and I will be 57 in about 2 weeks.
You were really the first NWA champion of the most modern era that people knew about.
Right.
Not that it was bad for the other champions, but I guess you were there when Billy Corgan kind of took over and made NWA kind of a household name again.
Right.
What was that title reign like for you overall?
It's kind of like you're saying. I almost look at that in two pieces or two sections. There was the pre-Billy Corgan era, which I enjoyed. The night I won the NWA World Title, for me personally, was career changing. I won't say life changing, because that, family, grandkids, all those kind of things, but career changing only because I loved the history of the NWA. I love the history of professional wrestling. So to be able to be on that list the night I won that was fantastic. But it was also a different era for the NWA, because it was, 52 franchises across the United States and other parts where you went to those. But with Billy Corgan, the era, their vision of that was to bring it back to the prominence that it had when I grew up watching it. Nothing but a great experience. I have zero negative to say. Phenomenal.
And you have been with SWE Fury since the very first television taping, which is actually on the Hannibal TV, as well as the SWE's YouTube channel if people want to look it up. How have you become involved with this company?
James Beard is one of my longtime travel partner, wrestling partner, and friend. Matter of fact, James is a big reason why the NWA thing happened. He was personnel director and at that time. So as you get older in the business, as your goal should be to give back. And whether that's teaching in the ring, telling stories, that's what it becomes, and that's where I'm at. So my objective when I got involved with SWE was a couple of things. Number one, it was to pass that knowledge on to other people, younger wrestlers, and anything I could do, whatever that is. And secondly, it was, James has been in this business for 30 plus years, in some regard, and anything I can do to make James's experience better in wrestling, to help out with the new company, I'm all in. Just because he's my friend. I love the business. It's time to give back. And that's kind of the way I went into this. SWE's exploded. We've done great. It just keeps getting better and better and better. So it's a good experience all the way around. But to answer your question specifically, it was James. You know, that's what got me started here.
And as far as your title reign, for the newer fans that maybe aren't as familiar with how you won the title and some of your challengers over the years, could you tell us a little bit about how your reign has been?
I don't think anybody knew. Maybe James had that vision. Maybe the ownership group had that vision. But SWE getting into it, I don't think any of us. I know I didn't have the. You kind of become jaded to a certain degree. And all you promoters out there that I've worked for, I love you. Thank you for for letting me work for you. But you hear over and over and over, hey, it's going to be the next big thing. We're going to have TV. We're going to do so many great things. And truthfully, 99.9% of the time that doesn't happen. I don't think any of us a year ago, maybe James did, but I don't think any of us a year ago looked ahead and realized the people that were going to be involved. And again, I'm not name dropping at all, but to sit and to be a part of booking meetings and production meetings, within my opinion, you've got Teddy Long, Kevin Sullivan, coming on board recently, Mark Henry, Terry Funk. I don't think anybody a year ago projected that as the direction that we were going to go. But to see that develop, and if I had anything to do with that, as kind of the front person, the face of that company, to have anything to do with that is an honor. It's a privilege, and again, it's what we're supposed to do. So, it's been nothing but a great experience, and it's just going to keep going.
Any idea who your opponent is going to be yet tomorrow night? This is being recorded before the Dallas taping, that people will see this before those matches air.
It's like many locker rooms or many promotions that are top quality promotions. When you're the champion, you're going to get the best challengers available. You can't have an off night. You can't. There's not an opponent that's not a high level opponent. And recently, Charlie Haas has been making a lot of challenges publicly. As a champion, you don't back off those challenges. I don't have to tell the world who Charlie Haas is. If that at some point that's going to happen. But again, look at the locker room, and I don't want to start naming names because as soon as I do, I'm going to leave somebody off. But Jax Dane, Rodney Mack, Crimson, just incredible. Blood Hunter, Apocalypse, Shine Mantell. Go through the list, and there's every single one of them is a legitimate challenger to that title. As a champion, all you can do is say, bring your best shot, because I believe I'm going to win every time. But, everybody's going to be a challenger. You just got to step up and meet those challenges.
One of the most impressive challengers you had recently was Lance Hoyt, who was a last-minute replacement on the Greenville tapings that I believe have already aired this weekend, and they're going to be on YouTube on SWE Fury's channel next week, as well as the Hannibal TV. What was it like going in there against one of the top heavyweights in the world on such short notice?
The short notice was the trick. A lot of people don't know this history, but I've probably wrestled, what now is the murder hog monster, Lance, I don't know, 25, 30 times. And again, I'm just throwing a number out there. I haven't counted. Every single one of them is brutally physical. We laugh, when he hit the ring that night, our history is somebody's going to bleed, and it's almost like it's become like a running joke about who, we're just that physical. The trick that night was I didn't know he was going to be in the building. I didn't know that's who I was going to face until basically he hit me in the back of the head, and it started from there. But you find your groove. You fight to keep going. That particular night is kind of where the Charlie Haas thing happened. I am very happy and honored at what I've done in the business. But if you take Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, Murder Hog Monster. He has legitimately created a place in the business as a true monster in the business. And that's a testament to his hard work and you know, his work ethic, but he's the real deal.
Did AEW have any talks with you when they were first opening up, or would your NWA contract would have been in conflict with that?
Well, I hate to answer these questions, but only because I want to be accurate. I don't want to make it more than it was. There was some discussions, without a doubt, but I was, you know, NWA was basically stepped out for me as far as taking a chance at me as a 54-year-old world champion. I think they could have gone in a lot of different directions. So the fact that they went to bat for me, I was definitely going to stay in the game with them. At this point, nobody knows where that's at. My focus right now is SWE, and I'm happy that I'm, you know, especially in this time. If you're a wrestling fan, you're watching this. We all know what COVID has done. It has not shut down the business, but it's definitely taken us in a whole different direction than I think any of us saw, whether that's a building full of fans or, you know, whatever the situation. So SWE's been there, and SWE's been my commitment, and what a great ride it's been.
And finally, who is your favorite NWA World Champion?
Oh man, I am a hardcore Dusty Rhodes fan, and I have been since I started watching wrestling. And at the time, I look back at those things and I look at that and say, it never occurred to me that Dusty didn't have the best body in the business, because he was just that good. And then you take that and say, okay, look at the way he was built. I don't want to say physique, but look at the way he was built. And he would go out and do 60-minute matches, it seemed like every night. But the biggest thing, and the thing that drew me in, because you say who is my favorite, I can roll off a list of those guys, because those are the people that built my love for the business. But the charisma that Dusty Rhodes brought to his promos and to the ring, the way he spoke, the way he could look you in the eye and draw you in. If I have to pick one, and he was probably not the most prevalent champion. He didn't hold it for the longest. Now I'm gonna start naming names. I was a big Harley Race fan. Ric Flair, one of the greatest performers of all time, but Dusty, just with his words and his actions, drew me in and made me a fan.
And where can fans follow you on social media if they want to look you up?
I'm going to direct everybody to SWE, because that's the best thing that's happening right now as far as wrestling. But Tim Storm 01, Instagram, Tim Storm, Facebook, Tim Storm. I better change that. But anyway, Tim Storm on Twitter. But I'm one of those weird ones right now that as an older guy, social media was new to me, and I've had to kind of grow into it. And SWE is the best way to find information, because that's where I'm at right now.
And SWEFury.com is the website, and all their social media links are on there. I believe most of their social media is under SWE Fury TV. I have noticed, actually, I did see a clip from your entrance in Greenville, and my gosh, you're quite a ladies' man, aren't you?
I think that as a wrestler, I think we just have to embrace fans, whatever that is, and I'm just glad people care as a wrestler. I mean, when you go to the ring, whether you're loved or hated, what you want is somebody to care. So, ladies, man or not, I just appreciate wrestling fans all the way through. So it's the
giant towel somebody had made of you.
Yeah, that's that. Well, and you gotta love, and I mean this sincerely. You gotta love fans that care, and there are some that care a lot. And now you got, again, thank you for caring. What would it be if nobody did? It wouldn't be a very fun business to be in. So yeah, thank you guys.
Any final message here for the fans of SWE Fury?
Yeah, keep watching. I'm so pleased and honored to the direction we're going. So, look me in the eyes, SWE fans. We're just getting started. It's going to get better and better and better. Don't miss an episode, because you never know what's going to happen, what you're going to miss, and you don't want to miss this stuff. It's that good. This is old school wrestling the way it should be.